Welcome to Algo Hour. It's April 9th. It's Algo Hour 46. We've got Luga on his way and Ted and Joe here. Hi, guys.
What do you think about people that have two first names instead of a first name and a last name?
I mean,
All that and more coming up. But yeah, we've got a good show for everyone today. I don't know. It's just I'm excited.
I need an example. I can't think of how that would work.
Like oh gosh, let me think.
Like if your name was Ted John.
Or like no, that's like
or
sounds
Ted
weird.
Joe.
It's like John Jacob. I don't know how that was any better. No. But I don't know. It's like, do you just choose one? And then the worst part is if you have a middle name that's also a first name. So then it's just like, at that point, you're like, 5% of the way through a seed phrase. But
some names are like meme tokens. I swear there's just like extra. I read a billboard and it said buds, but I read boys from a distance because I'm just so used to our degen smelling of things and stuff. It was really funny. But today we have RWA, courtesy of Native. I'm very excited about this. I happen to know that someone here missed out on RWA. So what you have to do, there's totally nothing to retweet. It's nice if you like our show, but not required. What you do need to do is drop in the comments of our live chat today something you're excited about that's going on in the space. Help us all stay in the know, combat complaining a little bit because I don't love people complaining about other people complaining. It's not my favorite thing. So we're combating that today by talking about stuff that we're really excited about that's happening in the space. One of the things that I'm excited about is the meme stuff that's going on. Everybody's really excited about it. I sold some meme coins last week and bought half of a Mingo. I was really excited about that. So that's coming in flex time. Let's check in with the chat. Philosophian, you're there. Sorry, go ahead, Ted.
We've got a special guest coming in the green room.
Ooh, special guest. Our favorite regular.
And it was funny because I have some of my settings popped up and he showed up at the bottom, so I can't see if he has a shirt on or not. And I really can't tell.
Know?
I do want to know.
Find out next. I know, it's high anticipation. Well, I was going to say I can tell you what he's wearing, but now I can't. That helps.
Oh my gosh. That you look like you're like ready to go on your freshman year homecoming.
No further ado, we got Luga in the house. Hello, Luga.
Hello, everyone.
How are you?
Little oh my gosh, I feel like you're ready to like.
Here, then you don't know.
Don't screenshot that and NFT that, guys.
Too late. Make the calendar.
Oh gosh, I think that would be if we ever run out of money. That's the fundraiser. Is we just exploit you for
We're desperate. So.
It's not exploitation if you find it empowering. I'm just gonna say that.
You could say a couple things.
But. I mean, I haven't Stockholmed Luga as far as I know. Everybody don't blink. I mean, blink twice if I have coerced you into doing the show with me. So Lugo, here's what's up. We're in episode 46 of our live show. It's pretty exciting. Yesterday, I drove down to Fremont, Ohio. I made a drive to see the eclipse in totality. We got like 3.5 minutes of totality. It was very cool. My kids did not care.
They don't know that that's crazy yet.
They were super into just like playing. We went to a park so we could observe it from outside and hopefully it wasn't super busy. And they were just like, but Mom, no one's on the swings right now. Like now is the perfect time. But it was really great. I will say there's a big difference between like partial, like even like a 90% and a total eclipse. And it was really, it was like awe. It was awe-inspiring. It was much more something than I had expected. I don't know how to say that.
A lot of my friends are like half an hour away from totality, so like just all over my feed was just like all my friends like, oh my gosh, this changed my life. I feel like I got chills. So I was like,
I got chills is a good word. My husband got a little teary-eyed. Like, I don't know, you know, it was like an emotional experience. So, I was at the park with my kids, so I was like worried about, you know,
right.
It was really good. Philosophian, you didn't see it, Joe, right? Ted, you didn't see it at all.
In Denver, there was got up to like 60 or 70% or so. I saw it through the little glasses, but like, I think it's such a similar experience to just seeing it online, as depressing as that is, when it's like, you know, like, look at it. But
I watched it live in Horse Chat.
The totality was cool.
B-Rad. It's like live streaming.
Who is live streaming?
B-Rad, B11E, Rad.
Hi, B-Rad.
He had like a whole telescope live stream, so it was like...
Oh, that was his actual production? I thought he just streamed that from the internet.
I assume it was. I mean, he's done like shots of Jupiter and stuff. Like,
wow,
really obsessed with the stars. So
can't wait till I need to know. Shot of Uranus.
We need to know, because there were stars that I guess were planets that we saw.
Thanks.
You know, when it got dark.
Totality? Oh, that's cool.
Or I guess they were planets. I don't know. My astrology, Feely's not here to tell us. So you're going to need to ask B-Rad. I need to know what I saw, but it did. Yeah, it looked starry almost. It got that dark. It was very cool. And like I said, to me, I have seen other eclipses at near totality, but not totality, and it makes all the difference. Huge difference. Checking in with the chat. If you don't know what's going on, Native gave us some RWA. Try as I might, I'm just going to refer to it as that. So we have 500,000 RWA to give away to people that help us out today. So instead of having you like, retweet, comment, whatever, we want you to drop in the live chat and tell us something you're excited about that's happening in the space. We're going to go through them all episode long. So if you don't hear us talk about yours, I didn't see it. But I think that that's really cool. I recently commented on somebody's tweet about how Algo fam complains, and they were essentially complaining about the complaining. And I was like, super effective. Love that.
Just like layer it.
So I was like, you know what? What's better? Let's bribe people with meme coins. Let's get it done. Let's hear what we're all excited about in a really fun, positive way. So Philosophian's checking in first. He's excited about Realms buying up the floor all around and bringing us all together.
Realms is insane. I'm so excited to see like what they pull off.
I'm excited about it too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited about the team and the collaborative nature that they seem to be very deliberate with. I know several people in consulting positions and various different slots. And I think, I don't know, I dig it. I'm excited to watch it all unfold. And I'm liking my Nico airdrops.
Oh my gosh, I love the Nico airdrop. It's so nice. I've done like a Nico giveaway like every month because they're like really cool, and they partnered with me and gave me a bunch of Nico to give away. And it's insane that like February, like 200K Nico was like $100. I did like maybe it was like $30, I think. And then like all through March and April, the Nico has been like 180. And it's like
there's Nico you can get for getting Algo active this month too, right?
Yeah, another 200K Nico for abs. Yeah, it's like $450 right now. It's insanity how fast it's already gone up. Because there's 500K RWA and 200K Nico. So like that alone is like 300.
I need some suggestions for abs. I was going to do a plank and it just felt kind of boring. So come Algo active. They seem boring. So I got to figure out a fun way to get my abs engaged.
My go-to is hanging ab crunches, but those are not the most attractive to record because it's a lot of hip thrusting, and I don't know if I want that content out there.
I want that content out there.
Did
you see my hanging leg raises?
I'll DM it to you.
Oh,
I have no problem with you seeing it, Luca. It's the anons on the internet doing God knows what with God knows who.
Oh, gosh,
I'm just going to suggest, although I am no expert, but that if you're hanging from a bar, putting the camera right underneath you, not ideal.
I sent that happened once as well.
Wait, you did that? I did that.
Oh, yeah.
We've all done
that once too.
We've all done it.
I've not done that. Joe, have you ever done that?
I can't say I have.
Oh, who hasn't stuck a camera in their pants? Get over it.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Oh my gosh, I downloaded. I have a new effect that I'm never going to have ready at the right time, but it's a sensor beep. Oh, and it blocked us out. Next time, I'm going to work on that. But it's coming soon, just for moments like that. Yep.
Anyways,
checking in on the chat, we got Maureen, Denny. Maureen, I am going to catch up on the chat, but let us know what's going on that you're excited about in the space for your share of RWA today. Algo Leagues is checking in. Yo, IRL, let's freaking go. Love you all, Algo fam. Always excited about Algo League's development and the current meme craze. You know what's fun is you can rain meme coins with the Algo League's bot.
So much rain.
Super fun. I like being rained on. Just saying. All right, I'm making notes here. So we got Philosophian. I think you're Philosophian.algo, but if you're not, let me know. I've done enough drops for you. I think I know. And then we got Algo Leagues. Who else has some stuff that they are excited about? Smokey, I'm so excited that you're here, first of all. But also, you're complaining about how excited you are. That's cute. I saw a new puppy that they got recently, and I would be excited about how cute that is. But also, I'm excited about Crescendo. You guys have been slowly kind of like adding to the different liquidity pools that are offered. And I don't know. I got mad love for them. Him and Rumi over at Crescendo. Excited for Algo Spring. I dig it.
Yo, is this flipping Algos thing true, though? He's making a replacement for NFT Explorer?
Is he?
That's what Smokey McPot said.
Yeah,
Algos made a replacement for NFT Explorer.
I just found it on his website. If you go to flippingalgos.xyz.
Yeah. Is it good?
Yeah, it seems like let me go to a collection.
No G, right? FLIPPIN?
No, there is a G. Flipping algos.xyz. And yeah, it looks like it has a couple of all the main marketplaces integrated.
What? Already? What a champ.
What's up?
Wow.
What? Dude, because NFTX going down has been like tragic. It's like I don't even know what to do with my life. Like
I keep meaning to get with Null to see. I miss the charts. Like the little chart that comes up with the wallet. For as far as like transactions, there was a chart for transactions. There was a chart for account balances and stuff. And I don't know. I like the charts, but let's check it out. Is this under NFT Explorer? Okay, we got some featured collections.
Ooh, I was sorry. I got distracted by the website, and I've just pulled up to that. I like that we have we're doing a little live review here.
Well,
pros.
Okay, check it out. Huh.
I really like that it has the recently active collections. I think that's something that doesn't give enough love. Where it's like, in theory, I think like those are probably the most like relevant collections. Like if they're active, then they're probably something that you'd want to consider. And I think a lot of the time, like NFT Explorer would highlight collections that aren't bad, but like maybe moving at a little bit more of a slower pace. So like you go and you buy in and then you expect like something to happen. And then like, it's like, actually, no, well, we have to wait a couple of months to get whatever we want developed, which makes sense. But
I wonder what constitutes as recently active though. Like, is that just like the creator wallet connecting to that site, or is that like a buy or sell?
Which that would be a whole separate thing where it's like rewarding the creators for popping in and being like, hey, I think one thing that would be neat that no one else has integrated would be a way to like leave comments on people's NFTs. So I know AXN or created a system where you can like something.
That's on XRP Cafe too.
I think that would be a lot of fun to be able to go and be like, leave a message and be like, oh my gosh, like love this trait, or like,
that would be cool.
I don't know, reach out if we, have a branding opportunity or something like that. So, but
I dig it so far. I was just checking out the sales history and like how some things looked. Okay. That's something to be excited about. Let me make sure I put an Algo smoky.
Man, that'd be really cool for like people that you can't get a hold of, or you're like, because I feel like when you see a JPEG that you like, you have to like find the wallet that holds it and then like search Discords, try and find who that is. But if you can just like literally comment on the JPEG, like, hey, I love this.
Find a way to integrate it. So like you have NFT vaults where you can just go and say, hey, I want to airdrop the person that has this particular token.
Oh, that would be sick.
Or NFT, I should say, this particular token. But yeah, that's my my high level flipping algos. If you're listening, that's my feedback, my positive feedback.
I dig it. I like the empowerment. Menthal's great for shopping. Philosophian said too. Search function in the top left. Yeah, I was getting there. I had never been on that site before, so that was a cool one to see. Maureen said she's excited to see how Void impacts the space after the Void games. I've had a lot of fun with the Void games and Void in general. I think they've announced that they're concluding and wrapping up the incentivized testnet portion, which is very cool to me. Of course, I'm naturally like when without an H. Like I'm ready for mainnet, but one foot in front of the next kind of, I think.
My only fault that I've had with the testnet so far is that I'm too much of a hodler to use my Via or Voy to actually participate in all the different NFT games. I've been so focused on trying to just stack as much as possible onto my node. And as a result, I was like, I don't know if I can justify buying, this NFT or that NFT. I feel like I want to just hold as much of the Void as possible.
What do you stack on? How much you got on your node?
Let me look. 125,000.
Okay.
Is that a lot?
It's like
it's not a little. I don't know.
It's hobbyist amount.
Hobbyist. Oh, okay.
I have.
Do you get rewarded for like buying and selling, or just the collection gets rewarded for volume?
It depends on the collection. I think the rewards pass through the collector or the creator. Okay. But typically those collections or the creators end up dispersing to the collections. But it depends on obviously which one and whatnot. So
yeah, there's a bunch of different games you can win. So like one of them is the Twitter engagement. There's like it's a separate game, and then there was like a new mint, like at Mint. There's a mint competition or a mint out. And then there's a secondary one, and like they've made it weighted, so like the more you trade back and forth, like it's pretty interesting. So it looks at the unique wallets that are involved in those trades, and then for every time it's traded out, it kind of dissipates the amount of impact, which is cool. Like they really did a lot of thinking about it. It was done. I think the rules were pretty much set more or less based on the committee that they put together, like an NFT games committee, just involved a lot of the collections that you saw launch for the games. But I've been keeping an eye on it as part of the grants council. That was something that we approved that we were excited about. And I am a total NFT degen, so I really had to, I know like Bogan had to break it down and was like, you have to sell that in order to get the whitelist spot for mainnet. And I was like, oh, okay. He really had to break it down so I didn't miss out, because it is natural to want to just like hold on tight, you know?
Just diamond hand the stuff you love, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, floor NFTs, please.
Please, Laura, yes. So I know Joe's probably glossing over hearing us talk all this NFT talk, but we will get to your devs then, because I'm sure we got a lot going. There's always so much devs chatter.
What was that?
Didn't you just build a marketplace? Am I making that up?
What?
No. Oh, for the boot camps,
boot camp?
yes.
Right?
Yes. We're going to be doing an NFT marketplace for our beginner and our intermediate boot camps.
Ooh, okay, so you haven't done it yet, though. But like that's the plan. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for ruining his segment, Luga.
Sorry,
How was he going to tell us?
Oh, like you can't be glossing over.
Maybe Joe can talk about how to cancel out of the Windows 11 installer that is actively popping up and trying to get me to not be on the show today.
Don't do it.
Windows.
Don't use Windows. What else is there?
Got to use Mac.
Okay, go to the devs den before I get up.
Oh, man. Okay, here we go.
All right. Hey, everyone. So a couple updates on Algo. So as we just mentioned, we got the boot camp is coming up. We'll be building a digital marketplace or an NFT marketplace. And that was we were going to start Python this week, but we ended up pushing it a week. And instead this week, I've been really focused on improving the Python developer experience even more. So in our boot camps next week, we'll have a really good developer experience that we can show new and existing Algo developers building on Python. And then I believe the following week is when we'll do our beginner on TypeScript as well. So if you're a developer, either Python or TypeScript, you can join our boot camps and learn how to build on Algo. And then also we got a couple of intermediate boot camps planned as well. We're going to be building on top of what we built in the beginner and learning a little bit more about the details of smart contracts and then NFTs as well. So those two bootcamp sessions are coming up in the next month. So if you're interested, you can go to developer.algorand.org/bootcamps, and that will have all the information you need to know about our upcoming bootcamps. Now, the other thing I wanted to quickly touch on today is talk about some of the stuff that's been going on with Solana and why that stuff is happening, how it compares to Algo, that sort of stuff. So if you've been living under a rock, you've missed that Solana has been having a lot of problems recently, where about 75% of the transactions on chain are failed transactions, and even more transactions can't even make it on chain. So I wanted to quickly talk about what that means and how it kind of compares to Algo. So to start, I want to mention that a lot of the reasons for why this is happening, or at least some of the reasons for why this is happening, isn't necessarily because Solana is objectively worse. It's just different engineering decisions. So the first one, and kind of the highest level one, is the fact that Solana puts their failed transactions on chain. And this is a design decision. There are pros and cons to putting them on chain and off chain. Of course, on Algo, we don't put failed transactions on chain. So this means once a transaction fails on one node, that node doesn't give it to other nodes. And the main benefit of doing this is that it costs money to process a transaction because you have a computer that is plugged into power, and you need to use that in order to process every transaction that comes through. So preventing failed transactions from going to the rest of the network means that we're saving the compute and money that you need to process those transactions. So on Algo, it's not like transactions never fail. Transactions do fail sometimes on Algo, whether it's a user tries to send the token to the wrong address, or they call the wrong contract. There's various different ways a transaction can fail. It just happens right away on Algorand, and it's not part of the actual block. So we can't actually see those failed transactions. And on Solana, there's a couple of different reasons for doing this. And kind of the main reason that, Solana and other chains that have failed transactions on chain would argue is that having them on chain means that you still have to pay for your failed transactions. Obviously, this is a much worse experience for users, but the idea is that people that are running a node, they still make money for processing a failed transaction. And a lot of this comes down to how fundamental you think node profitability should be for a network. Obviously on Algorand, historically, nodes have not been, there's been no revenue associated with running a node. And so having failed transactions just didn't make any sense at all, really. And so I think that going forward, even as we have node incentives, not having failed transactions is a perfectly viable design decision and leads to a better user experience, which I think is overall beneficial. But there are arguments to be made otherwise. Now, the other part, I think kind of the most important part, is the fact that there are some transactions that aren't even making it on chain at all. So before they can even fail, they aren't even getting to the chain. And basically what's happening here is, trying not to get too nerdy with this, but basically as part of any blockchain, there's multiple levels of that blockchain, right? So there's, as you know, on Algorand, we have the pure proof of stake consensus, but we also have the Algorand virtual machine, and then we have transactions. And one layer is what we call the networking layer. And this is the very basic layer, how different blockchain nodes talk to each other. And this is not a matter of blockchain, but just a matter of computer software. How do two pieces of software talk to each other? And on Solana, this actually isn't the first time they've had issues with transaction spam. One of their previous outages was because nodes were getting spammed with transactions and they were running out of memory. And the reason why transaction spam is so bad on Solana is kind of two reasons. A, there's a lot of bots on the network, and these bots are typically trying to do arbitrage trades where they can send, sign and send 1 million transactions per second, and they don't care if only 1% of them actually goes through, because they're just trying to find the best arbitrage opportunity. And then the other is that the networking layer, basically the networking layer, it used to use a technology that encouraged people to spam, and they've since, so that was called UDP, and they've since changed to a new technology called Quick, which was supposed to discourage people from spamming, but they implemented it poorly, and so people are still encouraged to spam. And so I think the main thing you can criticize Solana for throughout all of this and its history is not necessarily that they've made different design decisions regarding fees or failed transactions, but it's really the fact that Solana has been developing at such a rapid pace, and in my opinion at least, been kind of losing sight of what makes a good blockchain. And they're moving quick and breaking things, but the breaking things ultimately impacts end users and any projects that are building on it. And I think this is the philosophy that Solana has done for a while now, where they quickly iterate things and implement them not the best way, and you see various failures and bugs and stuff. And that's not to say Algorand has never had any bugs or that any software is perfect, but it's to say that I think the thing to criticize here is that the rate at which Solana is trying to fix things and implement new features is just completely unsustainable. And I think that is kind of the main takeaway, at least for me, about Solana. So I just wanted to give that quick update on what's really happening on Solana and how we can talk about it and what the real problems are. And I think it's good to talk about different designs that different blockchains have, because maybe we'll learn a thing or two from another blockchain and want to bring it to Algorand. I don't think that's the case with Solana, of course, but it's always good to keep an open mind. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. So I think that is all I wanted to cover today. So I'll hand it back over to you, IRL.
well, we're not going to let you off that easy. With the failed transactions might be a design decision. Let's see what our chat has to say. Are there benefits for developer? Yeah. Oh, that's you, Ted. Go ahead.
Joe, yeah. So one of the questions that I had was like, as you're talking about design decisions on this, is there an advantage for developers to see the failed transaction on chain? And this is where my technical kind of prowess goes out the window. On Solana, can you see why a transaction failed, or is it just a general congestion error?
Yeah. So my understanding is that you can see why it failed. Okay. And so I think from a developer perspective, one of the benefits of this is just like a purely like analytical point of view. Like you can see how people are interacting with your app and why it's failing, and you can have insight into that in a way that you like can't on a network like Algo, where we don't have failed transactions on chain. And I think also another thing to mention about having failed transactions on chain is it potentially opens up the possibility for like users. So on Algo, because a transaction stops getting propagated when it fails, it's entirely possible that like I send my transaction to a node, it fails on that node, but maybe it would have passed on other nodes. Now, this is a like big edge case. I don't think it's significant enough to justify putting transactions on chain, but it is one thing to consider. So there definitely are some benefits of putting them on chain, but ultimately I think they hurt the user experience in a way that the cost isn't worth it.
Well, and I think that was something that I learned fairly quickly in my blockchain journey. Learning about it was what TPS was, transactions per second, and then learning that meant different things on different chains. So if you count your failed transactions on chain and you have a lot of failed transactions, you are doing a lot more TPS, right? That number looks a lot bigger. So, I mean, I gotcha.
Yeah, the TPS counting is definitely frustrating. I think it's a problem across the whole industry where there is no like, this is what defines a transaction. This is how we measure TPS. And I think we see it with all sorts of metrics, like energy consumption or whatever. Like there's just no standard for anything, and basically anyone can make up something, and you can justify it being the right way by like some mental gymnastics.
Fit for purpose. If that purpose is very
exactly, yeah. If you can make up the purpose yourself, then you can make anything fit for purpose.
Fair enough. Well, yeah. I'm excited because I talked to two of the guys from Drop Chain this past week. They are going to tackle this Squarespace Algo code dilemma. They're going to try. They're going to do their best, but I was really excited because as a non-technical user who knows lots of technical users, I was like, I need to be the example that like anybody can do a little bit, right? You can integrate it in little ways. And, so I'm excited about it, the potential there. Another thing I'm very excited about that I dropped in the comments is that Fisherman shared, and I totally had a typo because I was multitasking, but NFTs. Fisherman shared I think it's a GitHub, but it's a tool for mass sending to NFT vaults, which I'm excited about. I cannot wait till opting in to the latest meme thing is not a case of FOMO. The asset numbers can be kind of long if you're doing it from your phone. I don't know. I was really stoked the other day when I had not opted into RWA and he sent out an airdrop to people's vaults using that tool and I still got it. And it feels like kind of like Christmas or like a bonus when you go check your NFT vaults and there's something inside. So I would love that to be my preferred method of receiving airdrops in the future. And I think that seeing a tool like Fisherman sharing, utilizing that. Now, I don't think I can run it because I don't know how to run a script, non-technical
could.
user.
I'm sure
But
they don't away.
yeah, I can see the tooling coming down the line from there now that people who can run scripts can use this tool. So let's see, Bank On dropping in. I think that's Boa. Excited for Realms and Examarket V2. I agree. We talked about Realms at the top of the hour. Okay, Jimbo's here. OMG, I'm awake for Algo Hour. I'm glad you made it. Make sure to comment something you're excited about that's happening in the space, and you will get cut in on that RWA drop.
Chris Schwanner with the really insightful comment about what his favorite KPI is, and having that be the total amount of money spent on fees for a chain, because people wouldn't spend money on fees if they weren't getting more value out of those. And it's interesting. I was hearing him speak in one of the Void Twitter. I don't know which one it was, but I think it was celebrating the NFT games. And it reminded me, like, the utility of blockchain is very similar to the utility of your typical infrastructure. So, like, for instance, a train itself, very, very, very rarely do trains make money. What makes the train company money is the real estate around the trains and the ability to develop on top of the train stations and to go and say, like, for instance, your typical train station, at least in Europe, well, you get out of there and there's a market and there's high value real estate as a result of that train station being there. And I think a lot of the times in America, we get so hyper fixated on this train needs to be this profitable business. This blockchain needs to be profitable and sustainable on its own without any sort of props to hold it up. But I think, and Joe, you can kind of comment to this a little bit more. It's the things that are associated with the blockchain that actually build the blockchain up.
It's like a river system, right? Like you build the city on the river because you now have a good transit system to, like, deploy your product.
It's way cheaper for you to go
river,
right?
Well,
right.
In that case,
but you have to use the river.
But like even like with roads or anything like that, right? Like a highway in and of itself is never profitable. But the reason why it works is because a government kind of, or a body goes and says, hey, we need to go and build this. And then as a result, it becomes profitable because the businesses and infrastructure that's built on top of that highway ends up kind of driving everything for the economy forward, right? You go and you can't just build a city out in the middle of nowhere. You can't just build a cryptography business or something without having that underlying technology to help support it. And I think that's a really fascinating way. And Joe, hearing you talk a little bit more about Solana and some of the design decisions that they're making with their chain really highlights where, like, yes, and like people aren't dumb. It's like, oh my God, people, like, the Algorand has no failed transactions, so therefore it's automatically better. It's like, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Solana could flip a switch and make it so that failed transactions don't appear on their blockchain relatively easy. But that's not necessarily an acceptable solution. And that's, exactly. So that's where it goes back to decisions versus just, like, features, not bugs, I should say.
So Chris is saying that by seeing the amount of money spent on fees, it's somehow like a consumer confidence type metric, because people wouldn't be willing to spend fees on it unless, I think that's where he's going with it, maybe.
Yeah, Joe, I mean, if you can buy a meme coin that 10x's, then you don't really care if you lost, 5 transactions of fees, because you 10x'd in like a minute and a half. Like, the amount of volume's insane. I don't know if you've played the Soul meme game, but it's a drug.
No, I have not.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, especially because of all those bots, and it's the Wild West out there. But yeah, I mean, I think one of the unique things about blockchain and just like open source software in general is that, so like using that highway analogy, I think one of the big differences is that, if you're like building real estate off the highway, you care about the highway, but you're not manually going out there yourself and like patching potholes. Like you aren't contributing back to the highway. Whereas with blockchain, I think where the like long-term sustainable model isn't being profitable. I don't think that's necessary, and I think that just the more focus you get on profitability, the more perverse like your network becomes in terms of what actually people are incentivized to do. And so I think kind of the long-term sustainable or the long-term method for sustaining a blockchain technology as infrastructure is making it compelling enough for people to use, but also compelling enough for people to contribute back to it. And this is a model that we see in open source software, like across the board. A great example is like Linux, for example, where there's a Linux Foundation and they have money and they obviously, help it. But a lot of the key contributors to Linux are completely separate private entities, like something like a Microsoft, that they have products that need Linux. And so they pay engineers to improve Linux. And I think that's eventually where blockchains need to go, where I'm a company and I want to use Algorand, it's in my best interest to pay engineers to make Algorand even better, thus making my product better and all the other products better on it as well. And I think that's kind of what like Silvio's original vision was, for not just like incentives, but also just in general, having the network be kind of like a public good that everyone can contribute towards. And I think that ultimately is the end goal for like open source software. But blockchain is rather unique because we have this monetary value so tightly coupled with the technology, where it's very easy to kind of lose sight of what like long-term sustainability actually looks like, rather than like myopic incentives. And to Chris's point, it does require a tipping point, which is what we're doing with incentives now, where we realize that in order to bootstrap the network and get more nodes on it and get more people building on it, that we need to have these incentives. But I think, in my personal view, these incentives we should develop these incentives as incentives for bootstrapping the network, rather than the long-term sustainability model, because I don't think it is sustainable. Because if your whole network is composed of people that just care about money, as soon as a better opportunity comes, they're just going to leave the Algorand and go to another network. And we've seen this happen with proof of work, where people, they want to use their computer to make money. They download the software called like NiceHash, and they don't know if they're mining Bitcoin, Raven coin, Ethereum, Classic. Like it'll just use their computer to mine stuff. And I think that is fundamentally unsustainable, and it's better to focus on the open source nature and contribution to the infrastructure, rather than profitability in the long term.
And
I think the vibes of that are key too. Sorry, I was just gonna say, and I'm one of those people that I try to make my purchasing decisions align with my values, right? So like that's one of the reasons I found Algorand. It was like I was looking up blockchain and my values weren't aligning with some other priorities that other chains had set, right? Like I'm thinking mining buildings full of mining, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't really like align with what I want the future of tech to be. But we utilize OBS, which is an open source, free to use, community developed streaming software or broadcasting software. It's not to say that there aren't paid things that will do that are available. But yet there's a community that continually contributes to, I think there are well over 30 plus iterations of OBS alone. And, people from news stations to people like me, from expert level broadcasters to novices use it. And you see community collaboration and contributions. Also a huge thing to me that's been inspiring when talking about the platform and what I would love to see It was PBS. When I was a kid, that was like a big thing. Now some of it's on HBO. It's a little bit different. And, I have a PBS subscription for my kids now that we pay for. But was hearing Silvio talk about barriers to entry and making the best tech not have an economic barrier, right? So I am proud of the fact that you can try a blockchain transaction, lots of them for that matter, if you return a pop can in the US where there's a refund. Where I live, I'm in Michigan, you can get 10 cents for a can. You can go to town. Like seriously, go to town, get them airdrops, do those opt-ins. And that makes me proud, but I also value that I know if my transaction goes through right away, right? Like that the sub 3 seconds to finality, right? Like teaches me how to use it. So I think what's important, and that's what we see, is that people like me and Ted and Joe and Luga and Chris down there, is that we're all pitching in on this public goods infrastructure, which is basically the L1, right? That is Algorand. Sorry, Ted, go ahead. I got on a tangent because I love me some PBS and some NPR.
You're good.
For and that stuff.
In typical TED technology fashion, the headphones, something has happened to those. So we're through 2 pairs of headphones and 1 hour of Algo. But Joe, my one comment, and this is a little bit tangential before, and if we can move on if you would like, but how would you compare Web3 companies today in their overall structure to Web2 companies like Oracle, where they're kind of producing more of a language that's used by everyone, not quite necessarily an infrastructure where you're having like blockchain nodes and everything like that. How much different would you say that like your path of business development has evolved from like a Web2 perspective, where I feel like you're creating it's more language based, versus a Web3 perspective, which I feel like is more platform based, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, one of the biggest differences is that right now, it's common, like putting the tech before the product is like a common thing you hear for like startups not to do. But this is something that kind of the blockchain industry as a whole has done, where I think everyone in this industry like sees the value of this technology, but there, like, at least in my opinion, there hasn't been like a compelling product that has really arisen from it. I think we can all see how it gets there, but that hasn't yet happened yet. And I think a lot of these like traditional Web 2 companies, especially like the really big ones, even in the context of like open source software, their revenue stream is based on product. Like, I don't know too much about like Oracle, but one example is there's a company called Red Hat, and they're like a big, really big company that like every corporate entity that's like really large interacts with in some way, because they provide Linux. They provide what's called a Linux distribution, which is basically like their own flavor of how to use Linux. And the product that they offer is their support. So they charge people to download their operating system and then to provide that support for them. Whereas on Algorand and in blockchain in general, we're still building that foundational layer of the technology before we can really deliver a product that generates a revenue stream. And I think eventually what's going to happen is that you're going to have the revenue streams are going to be coming from not the foundations, but from other projects. Like, for example, I think I recently saw Lofty saying how they recently became profitable, they're near profit. And you can imagine, as a company like Lofty, where their infrastructure depends on Algorand, as they get more and more profitable and they have more engineering resources, they're going to be more incentivized to dedicate resources to Algorand to make Algorand better so their product can be better. And not just make Algorand better as like a performance, but they want to improve the dev experience so they can hire new devs and have them work on their tooling easier. And so I think what what eventually is going to happen is we're going to get kind of those network effects, much like how traditional Web2 companies have, where they have this underlying technology, but they're able to productize it and profit off of it. I think that'll eventually happen with Web3, but of course, because we're decentralized and because we're following open source ethos, that'll happen not just like at the foundation or Algo Technologies, but across all different sorts of companies that are building on top of the technology.
Neat. It's always good to hear your perspective on this, Joe, because you're just way more technologically. You're there. You're in the trenches, for lack of a better term.
But you're not too far gone there to like make it make sense to us. I'm just saying, it's really easy for people to be like, I have the superior technological knowledge and I have the superior chain, and not really be open to the different dialogues that really come with that like collaborative nature that you have, Joe. We appreciate you big time.
I also have a Joe question, if I can.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. I'm thinking this could be the next big thing, and I don't think it'd be too hard to integrate. But have you used Pump Fun on Sol yet?
I have not. No.
Okay, it's like this instant meme coin generator.
Okay.
That you have to like contribute like, I think like a Sol to start it, so it gives it like a 5K market cap, and then anyone can buy instantly, and it's like these like insane pumps, but it's so fast and so easy to just like make a meme coin, and then people can buy it in under a minute. And if you get to like 75K market cap, it immediately goes Radium, and then Radium like pumps the LP. I mean, it's still like, insane crashes and dumps and explodes, but like it's built on Solana, which has like, kind of the same basis as us, but just like the failed transactions. And so like, I think Algorand is just like the perfect place to build Pump Fun.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the biggest thing that hurts Algorand in terms of meme coins is the opt-ins. And we're seeing that being fixed with vaults, and then some of the arcs we're working on. So I do think we could pretty easily make a platform like that on Algorand, and I think it could be successful.
You could just like smart contract the buy button with the opt-in. Yeah. Presently, I feel like it, and so it'd still be one click.
Yeah. From the app side. Yeah, from the app side, you could definitely do it and like make it kind of seamless. I think a big part of meme coins though is like just being dusted with random meme coins and like seeing one that makes you laugh, and then like look at the chart and be like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna ape into this. Yeah. They're
just it's either straight up or straight down. There's just like no in between.
Yeah.
Oh man. You guys are funny. I have a little fun with memes, but I gotta say, you really have to be really, really present, and I am often distracted. So
just for like 5 minutes, because by the time 5 minutes have passed, you'll know if your meme coin was good or not.
Well, you got to do some sit-ups, and I want an update on that. But real quick, let's pop over to Flex Time, because let's face it, I bought a Mingo, and y'all need to see it.
I do want to see it.
Really, where it's at. Let's see.
I keep Mingo shopping because I'm like on the
it's when you always keep an eye on, and then when you see, I found a floor bird that needed saving. But real fast, we'll do this in Flex Time. That's okay. All right. All right, we're back. Here we are. I'm gonna get the flexes pulled up and updated. But while we're doing that, Teddy, there were some people sharing what they were excited about. I saw Jimbo got his in. What are people excited about?
Philosophian, this isn't exactly what he was excited about, but I'll go with it. It's what Daffer is doing. And that
is that Daffy wallet?
Daffy?
Yeah. And I thought that was fascinating. I think the Daffy wallet is something like just more wallets in general, more infrastructure. I think is going to be great, and long term, I think more chain agnostic approaches to wallets, which is what my understanding Daffy is trying to do, is really the I think the next step towards getting like crypto mainstream, where if someone like, because it's such a security risk to go and just install something on your device, unless so like, you know, we're told to have a device for crypto that's specifically just for crypto that you don't download anything else on, right? When I went to ETH Denver, I've seen people pull out their second phone, and this is their entire phone that, you know, has its own SIM card with a wireless company. They don't even tell you, like so to prevent SIM swaps, among other things.
Huh.
Yeah,
I do not have that level of defense.
that was my high level on like one of the most exciting things that I saw people getting excited about in the chat.
Nice. Well, it's fitting for flex time that we talk about what Jimbo's that was going a little nuts there, but excited for Quilt's B3, Perdoodles to finish his buddies. My screen there's a little pop-up window that is like making it so I cannot read that last part. I don't know why. Let me click on someone else first. Okay. Let's see. Finish buddies collection and for Algo to go up so I have enough to pay for a dev upgrade to the shootout bot. That was what Jimbo said. All right. Fees don't need to stay node operator. Okay. So you can derive value other ways than just fees. IRL, tell me what server you wanted to meet. You know I can't pick a favorite. That's not fair. I can't do that. But I am trying to get a few people to tell me what they're excited about that I saw in the chat. I saw you in the chat, but I didn't see what you were excited about. DC says V3 Snakes and the Scully Shuffle. I don't know about the Scully Shuffle. I need the alpha.
Reimagine Scully's.
Oh, okay. I got mine already.
Well, so there's another, like, there's a shuffle. Ooh, so it's not the like ones that are linked draft? To your OG friends. It's like
okay.
A whole new collection. I mean, it's not like a whole new collection, but like it's.
But it's a public shuffle for the remaining pieces. I gotcha. And when is that? Yeah. Do we know?
I don't know, but a lot of whitelists are going out, so I think soon. I could probably click like 3 buttons and find it.
I mean, I think it's safe to say buy a Scully, right? Thanks for
you're legally
RWA
to say
today,
buy a Scully
Native. I appreciate it. And we've given out Scullys because I mean, if you want to do giveaways, that's the one, man. Let's see, reimagined ones, yes. Luga's also excited about those.
We said it's 531.
What Daffy is doing, Wild West Casino. I want it on Algorand so bad. I don't know what that is. I see is here. I saw you ran a marathon. That was amazing. Good job, bud. Let's see. Back to our NFTs. Recent acquisitions, a dragon embryo, okay, and worms loot from Yielding. I like it. Vulture from the Womp Crew, flexing an AI goat. Algoats. Baggy GFY. Let's see what's new from last week. Vulture gifted me my first Vlad. I'm shocked that's your first Vlad piece, but congratulations. Everyone should have at least one.
Absolutely.
Crazy Flu Slap mission rewards, mostly friends. Cupcake had in my buddy facility of E with a CryptoPunks win. I saw Ice post this earlier before the show. This good boy. I like the shirt. I like the skin. Mm-hmm. Cultivator.algo, that's Philosophian. I'm connecting the dots slowly but surely. With an algo octopus and a shitty kitty. And Polly, this is why I got hungry. Right before the show today, I was eating one of my husband's protein bars. It was not good, but I was so hungry. And I think it's because as I sat down to prep for the show and get everything up and ready, this is one of the flexes I saw. And it looks delicious. I'm not going to lie.
Probably too hard. Good. Okay, you get a good Quest bar.
It was, I don't know, it was a Kirkland protein
bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here's my Yieldling, paid for in part by some meme coins. I was really excited. I saw this laying on the floor and I was like, how much Algo do I have?
That's gorgeous. It even looks like you.
It's got the Trinley collab tee. I love collab traits. It's got the YBG. He was ready to see the eclipse with his little glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, I dig it. And then this I love more than anything. I think it's got to be my favorite flex of the day because he's got a little Algo Hour flag. Leaving a little Algo Hour flag. So, yeah, Perdoodles is awesome. Quilt's awesome. I love what they're doing in the basic Discord. I think it's really, really cool. And then some node keepers. I had to pick which one. I think I like the blue background on that more, but I don't know. Maybe it's the tie. Seems legit. DC perp with a basic. Lindo V1. I was looking to see if there was a date for the next version. I don't see.
The V3 snakes?
Yeah. Oh, man, that's good. Teddy, I haven't seen a flex from you. We're gonna look at it next week.
I told you what happened before the show, and
I know. I have to give you a hard time sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see here. IRL, we are annoying you in the Vlad server, FYI. I will see that paying like 6 days from now.
I'm threatening for you. Don't worry.
I've got 9K notifications right now. It's not okay.
9K.
April 16th. Native rules by a Scully. We all know Algo's going to go straight. All the Algo's going to go straight back to community giveaways. It's true. But thanks for everybody who popped in. So I want to get an Algo active update from Lugo real quick. We need to know what's on the line. And then just for anybody who has not kind of seen me confirm, I see Mutt. I don't know your NFD, Mutt. If it's not mutt.algo, you won't get it because I don't know where to send it. But you're excited about RWA. Fair enough. Kind of an easy answer, but we'll take it. Let's see.
Yeah.
IRL, hello. I don't know you're
Funny seeing you here.
I was going to talk to myself.
You can totally talk to yourself. I wanted some.
You know what they do.
I needed some inspiration because I was going to do a plank, and I was like, this is.
Boo. Do mountain climbers. So what I'm doing at the beginning of that video is mountain climbers. So just like all fours, but up, knee to your chest or knee to your elbow. Gets good like obliques, good abs. And they're not like horrible. Like you could do like 10 each leg and probably be okay. Especially if you're doing fast. Fast is easy. Slow is hard. But you know, if you just want numbers.
Mountain climbers. Let's see these mountains.
Yeah, so just like and then I go a little bit slower. But it's all core engagement, it's all like body tension. A lot better than planks, in my opinion.
We'll get it done. And as of yesterday, we got 169 Algo, 100 Ada, 200,000 Nico, and half a milli RWA.
Half a milli RWA. That's a lot.
Wow.
But I think it'll be really good. And I'm thinking something crazy. Let me see if you like this idea. But I'm thinking we do teams. So instead of it being one person, winner takes all, I think I'm going to split everyone into like 4 teams.
Okay.
So no matter what, you have a 25% chance of winning.
That's
if
fun.
your team wins.
Okay.
Does that sound more entertaining? Because like right
now,
like the pot's like
teams though.
So my first thought was just random, like in order. But I'm kind of thinking if I split already winners. So like, gosh, who won? No,
I'd be left off a team.
I feel like Baggy won. So they would just be the heads. Yeah. And then like other people would join in. And then there's a part of me that thinks like if everyone on your team posts, you get in. Or like you get higher chances somehow.
I like the collaborative concept.
I think it'd be fun to be on a team.
Yeah, I like the idea. I'm sure that there's somebody that can help you iron out the finer points, but it's always thumbs up for me. So I dig the collaborative nature of teamwork for sure. All you have to do if you're like, I want in on this Algo Active pot, what do I got to do? You just got to do some apps. Post up to Twitter, hashtag Algo Active, hit up
And
Luga.
at me if you can, because then it's easier for me to find.
Yeah.
Because I'm always
We
like
will
scrolling
praise
through my
you
feed,
and
like,
tell you did a
these
good
things.
job. Just give it a go. I dig it big time. Thanks as always for getting us active.
Of course, I love it.
All right, so we've got 500,000 RWA. I'm going to figure out how to distribute, hopefully, into everyone's NFT vaults. I'm going to give it a go.
Evil Tools, oh, never mind. I mean, Evil Tools
I'd like
is
to
easy,
do the.
but that's harder.
I have done Evil Tools before. Still a ways off on V3 Snakes. Quilts decided to learn Python. Yes, I did know that. Throw an axe. Marine Denny just says throw an axe. That's all you need to do.
Yeah,
I mean, that's an ab. That's absolutely an ab movement. Like, I will count so many things for ab movements. If you run, abs. You fall out of a treehouse, abs. Like, anything.
Yeah.
I love that. I heard somebody say, I think you're trying to kill us with this exercise.
That was rage.
And he said, I only want to kill the part of you that says I can't. And I thought, I love that. That's going to go in our merch store on t-shirts and bumper stickers when we get a merch store, because I love that. I only want to kill the part of you that says I can't. We're going to do it for sure. Yes, I mentioned it earlier. You ran a bazillion kilometer race. You posted it. It was pretty good. Maureen Denny with the thing. I love vaults. Yes. Put people together that don't follow each other and make them find new friends. Smokey, I dig it. That's why we heart you, bud.
What is this, high school?
I mean,
that was rude. That was rude. That came out a little bit aggressive. I've been sitting here quiet for a while, and I come out with that aggression. That's not fair.
We're running over.
Yeah,
we're running over. And we didn't get to sports.
It's okay. It's okay. Caitlin Clark got bested by South Carolina. Zach Edey got crushed by UConn, and it's kind of sad because those are the two people that I highlighted last week, and both of them just got crushed. Not crushed.
You gave me some alpha, though.
Heated, though.
Caitlin Clark had about 30, and started off the game really well, but then Zach Edey
tied in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Well, in both circumstances, it was a team effort by the other team that ended up kind of steamrolling them to victory.
Yeah. And real quick, what do you have happening with March Madness in the Popcorn Lounge?
Oh no, don't. That's over.
Oh, March Madness is over. Okay, next time.
The championship. You gotta.
I
talked all about this last week, IRL. Do you just zone out during my sports stuff section?
No, I said before the show. Okay, we're gonna go over another minute so you can hear this.
No.
Before everyone was backstage, I was like, I had such a good conversation with my husband about sports. It was great. It was so much fun.